With the first pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Chicago Bears select Caleb Williams, quarterback, Southern California.
There he is, a Detroit cheer for Caleb Williams, hugging his family, and he is the first overall pick in the NFL Draft. Kid who went from Oklahoma to USC when his coach Lincoln Riley went there. Followed him to USC, immediately won a Heisman Trophy this past year. Wasn't the way he wanted it to go in terms of wins and losses and things of that nature. But his talent is undeniable. And Bears fans, yes, he's about to put a Bears hat on and introduce himself to the world and head to Michigan Avenue.
He might not have ran a 40 in Indy, but he's running one here. I mean, he is flying up there. He is excited to get this journey started.
When you see all the things that come with Caleb Williams, people have talked about the nail polish and the flair that he, the way that he dresses, and he made so much money in NIL. I can tell you from experience, this guy has a competitive fire in his eyes. And ever since I talked with him as a true freshman when he was at Oklahoma, this is what he has been dreaming of. Not only this moment, but being the #1 pick. This has been his goal. He wants to go to an organization, and as he told me, change the culture. He wants to be that engine for the Chicago Bears.
Do you remember the name Johnny Lujack at all? Johnny Lujack was the last great quarterback. Excuse me, Sid Luckman. That's the name. The last great quarterback the Bears had that was consistent. Sid Luckman. You got to go back a long way for that. They thought they had it in Jim McMahon. It didn't happen except for one season when they won the Super Bowl. They thought they were going to get the long-term run. This is where they think the long-term run starts here with Caleb Williams.
When I asked the guys in their personnel department, what did you learn about Caleb Williams from the end of the season to when you really got to spend time with him to now? And they said a couple things. Number one, we talked to all of his teammates at Oklahoma and at USC, and they love him.
That's right.
That was the first thing. The second thing was, I don't know if anybody's had more noise and more chaos around him, more negative attention. And he was so steely focused. He did not get sidetracked. It didn't even bother him. He just powered right through it. Kind of ironic that his career begins getting booed by 150,000 people here in Detroit. He wasn't very bothered by that.
He'll get booed in Detroit often in his career.
That's true.
He might as well get used to it.
And of course, it'll be up to him to quiet the crowd, as Bears fans are hoping that he will do.
His personality or whatever, I like it. I like what I just saw from him. I like the energy he brings to the table. And you gotta have to remember something here. He is a creative playmaker. It says it right there. He's twitchy. He's the home run hitter. But what you're looking at with Caleb Williams is he has the dramatic ability to be a playmaker inside the pocket and a playmaker outside the pocket. He puts nice air under the deep ball, as you see right here. That deep touch is something that sets him apart. The elite arm talent, the ability to throw across the body. That's usually not going to be something a quarterback coach likes a lot, but he can get away with it. He's got the ability to reset on the move and create a new pocket outside or just fling it while he's on the move, throwing left and right. And then finally, his ability as a dynamic runner. It says right here, and I happen to agree with this, his ability, Bucky, to not just win inside the pocket, but to get outside of the pocket and make big plays happen is something that really sets him apart.
So Caleb Williams from USC now to the Chicago Bears as the #1 overall pick. Bucky, it is the easy pick presented by Bud Light.
Yeah, I mean, look, this was an easy one. It was an easy one going all the way back to the fall. This was the guy that was the presumptive QB1 of this draft class, going all the way back from the time he won the Heisman Trophy. And look, didn't have the year that he wanted team-wise, but you still saw the flashes on tape that separates him from others. Outstanding arm talent, great IQ, the creativity is there, and more importantly, he has the moxie and the clutch playmaking ability that every quarterback coach and offensive coordinator wants. This is the dude. Chicago Bears have hit a home run on their quarterback. Now they got to make sure they set him up for a lot of success.
I'm going to give you a stat. You talk about clutch playmaking. A stat that blew me away when I was going through some of the data points. Over the last 2 years, he had 46 touchdowns to 1 interception in the red zone.
With the 9th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Chicago Bears select Odunze, wide receiver, Washington.
So the guys who came on the same flight from Los Angeles commercially are going to hop on Air McCaskey to go to Chicago together. And Caleb Williams drafted first overall into an offense that already had Keenan Allen and DJ Moore. Will have Odunze at his disposal this fall. What a windfall for the Chicago Bears. Caleb Williams 1, Rome Odunze 9.
Caleb Williams has already been throwing with Rome Odunze and Keenan Allen. Maybe he saw the future of where this thing was going. But you talk about transforming an offense in one offseason. I don't know if there's a bigger transformation than the one that's taking place in Chicago right now.
Remember the discussion going in. Offensive tackle. Remember Olu Fashanu played there with Caleb Williams in high school.
Kind of like what the Chicago Bears are doing with their first couple picks.
Tell you what's really underrated here, Keenan Allen, known as one of the great route runners coming into the league, and then as he's been in the league, Rome Odunze, one of the areas of improvement is really fine-tuning the routes. But the footwork, when he wants to, he's outstanding. Yeah. It's just doing it on a consistent basis. It's learning to play to his top speed. But when you look at Keenan Allen, he's a guy who is able to play faster than his time speed. The thing with Rome Odunze I really love is he can work from every position, including the slot. When the ball goes up, it turns into about an 80-20. He has amazing body control in the air. You'll always see the arm extension and going to snatch the ball with strong hands outside of his frame. Right there, he showed you a little double move. He's got better speed than you think because he doesn't always play to that top speed. That's what I saw right there. That little whip route shows the ability to become a more refined route runner, in my opinion. But the ball tracking, the winning the ball, when the ball goes up, he can win contested catches underneath. He can take the slant and go and give you some yardage out of the slot, or he can just beat you down the field, which is something that we saw a lot from Michael Penix, his quarterback, is, hey, throw it up to Rome and let Rome go do something with it. And Rome usually did something with it.
So how about the most prolific quarterback wide receiver duo in college football over the course of the last 2 seasons, going back-to-back picks? Penix at 8 to the Falcons, and now Odunze at 9, whose new quarterback shared a flight to Detroit with him.
With the 75th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Chicago Bears select Kiran Amegadjie, tackle out of Yale.
Yeah, you could say it's a smart pick there out of Yale.
Let's get it.
This is someone that's a little bit of a project, but you've got a lot to work with here when you look at the size and the length that he possesses. His wingspan's 85.5 inches, 36.5-inch arms, so he is a massive human being. I wrote down in my notes when I watched him, he's playing against a lot of civilians. When you watch him, these are a lot of undersized players.
Civilians. A lot of civilians are soon going to be Fortune 500 civilians.
Yes, we're going to all be working for them. But so it's a little bit difficult to evaluate the video. This is going to require patience. It's going to require time. They have tackles already here. I talked about being able to upgrade over Braxton Jones if they were to take one in the first round. This, to me, is more about a project in the future. Braxton Jones is going to be their left tackle with Darnell Wright on the right side.
And you mentioned the project part. Missed a lot of time COVID year. Missed a lot of time last year with an injury. Didn't participate in the run-up to the draft because he was working through that injury. But he's long, he's twitchy, he has those sort of traits. I talked with a coach in the Ivy League who said this guy was a talent. Thought he was in 2022. Looks for him to be out there now. And by the way, the Bears have a little tradition with Yale. Mike Powell was a center for them in the 60s.
Bears with their final pick of this draft.
Jack Seaborn jersey.
Hey, Bears fans, can you hear anything? Because I can't.
Oh, boy.
It is an honor and a privilege to be making this selection for the best team in the NFC North. The best team in the NFC. The best team in the NFL. The Bears.
Boy, he's going full Guy Ritchie here.
Shout out to all the UK Bears fans. With the 122nd pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, our Chicago Bears select Tory Taylor, punter, Iowa.
By the way, let me just say this. Once again, punters are weapons, too. This guy might have been the best offensive weapon Iowa had on the field, and that is not being a troll job right here.
I can't believe his leg didn't fall off.
I will just tell you this. He's one of the best out there, and the Bears saved the best for last. I know we're all focused on what they did with Caleb Williams and Rome Odunze, but Ryan Poles wasn't getting out of this draft without choosing Tory Taylor out of Iowa to make sure the defense puts Caleb Williams back on the field on the plus side of the field. And you want to talk about troll jobs. to have an Englishman say the word punter. Oh my goodness gracious. Ryan Poles probably doesn't even know what he's done.
And an Australian punter.
That right there is next level material out of you, sir. Well done. It's called 3 phases of the game: offense, defense, special team.
The Buffalo Bills have traded the 144th pick to the Chicago Bears. With the 144th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Chicago Bears select Austin Booker, defensive end, Kansas.
So Austin Booker I've got a second round grade on him, and at one point I thought he had first round potential. He's just not going to be a big player. He's long, he's kind of the string bean look. There's questions about how much more weight can he add. He's maybe going to be 250 pounds. But I'll tell you what, this game right here against Texas was hugely eye-opening to me. He's got less than 600 total snaps of football in college. Yeah. Less than 600. I cannot explain to you how little experience he has. Just 1 year as a football player. He transferred from Minnesota, where he barely played at all. And then he got about 500 snaps at Kansas. But as a rusher, he's got real potential, knows how to use his length. And I think the upside on him is substantial. I think Ryan Poles has pulled off 2 of the steals of the draft with a tackle from Yale and now with Austin Booker.